following thoughts, opinions, stories, and expressions are meant for those who will appreciate them. If you don't, we hope you keep an open soul to encounter another here on 34 Questions. Peace. In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34, and tonight I have a very special guest. Scarlet Jei Soarise is in the building. How you doing, Scarlet?
I'm good. I'm still good. How are you?
Doing well. I wanted to thank you again for making time and stopping by the podcast. I know it's not easy for everyone to open up, so just for you to give it a chance, I definitely appreciate it. And for the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we do some intro questions, some warm-up questions just to set the tone. And after that, we'll jump into the main interview where, Scarlett, you can choose your own numbers, or if you'd like, we can also jump into the Wheel of Fate. And then after the main interview, we'll close it out in the final stretch with some closeout questions. Sound good to you, Scarlett?
Okay. Yep, sounds good.
All right. Well, my very first question for you is, how have you been? Feel like we're living in crazy times. Been especially crazy couple of years. You've been doing well, been doing great. How you been lately?
Yeah, definitely feel like we're in crazy times, and it's been up and down equally. Some of the isolation was good because I was able to focus on some of my businesses and brands, and that was good, and I was able to come up in my life a little bit. But it was definitely bad because, the whole COVID thing sucked. I got it. My son got it. I lost a lot of people. This past couple of years, isolation started to hit at some point, and it drove me crazy because I don't know how it's for anybody else, but to be left alone every day in your own thoughts, especially if you're somebody that's like super unhealed, can be a bit much. So as of today was a pretty good day, but literally like throughout a week is really up and down. So it's just, I guess, depends on the weather, the wind, I don't know, the moon. It just goes up and down.
It's a lot of factors. And
yeah.
I be thinking sometimes it's a balance. There are gonna be it's never gonna be like all high or all low. So yeah. And I definitely understand. I think for me personally, there's I've done a lot of reflecting, and I used to think I was an extrovert until all the closure started happening, and it felt like I was more comfortable with being inside than most people. So I was like, okay, maybe I wasn't an extrovert at all.
Or an ambivert.
Yeah, I think
you could have been both. Yeah.
Maybe, and I don't know, maybe that also kind of like ties into my whole idea of balance. It's like maybe sometimes I'm extroverted, sometimes I'm introvert. I don't know. But yeah.
I realized as far as that, because I was considered an extrovert, but then I realized that I was an introvert too, which maybe I'm an ambivert. But I also think it depends on like the family that you grew up in and the environment you grew up in. Because if you grew up in a fast environment, it kind of pushes you out there and forces you to be an extrovert, and you believe that about yourself. But then having all of this time to self-reflect, and you realize like, oh, I actually don't like being around people. It's kind of like a part of you want to go out for specific things, but you don't mind not having to show up to a lot of things. That's what I felt like when we had to shut down, that I was actually kind of happy to not have to be a part of a lot of things. It's just some other things though made me feel kind of lonely, like being around people that you actually want to be around and environments that you actually want to be around. But for the most part, I realized I was pretty introverted myself.
Sure, I feel you. And if you don't mind me asking, what's one thing that you had missed, during, because I know we're not fully back, but, we're kind of taking those steps there. But is there anything that you were missing that you can kind of see is like available now to you? For me personally, it was concerts and music events, which, not everybody feels comfortable being in a room with a bunch of people. But yeah, so for yourself, anything you missed that you kind of see coming back?
Yeah, it's the same thing. So this is where the extrovert part come out. It's just the times that I feel energetic and I like myself this day. I think I look nice this day. I have a lot of energy this day. I want to be out and I want to be around people, but I couldn't. And also I'm single. And so a couple times I wanted to just be hugged up somewhere and I couldn't. So
I feel you.
Yeah, so that's what I missed during the whole COVID shutdown thingy.
I gotcha. Let's jump into some more warm-up questions here. The first one is, what would you like the audience to know about you? For the folks out there who don't know, this is the first time we're talking, so I'll be learning with y'all too. What would you like the audience to know about you?
So I thought about this. I'm like one of those type of people that I hate having to sit and talk about myself because it makes me so uncomfortable. Am I oversharing? Am I undersharing? I'm always in my head and I'm just like, maybe I could talk about my accomplishments, but is that really sharing who I am as a person? Like, I don't know. But that's what I'm gonna do because that's just the best thing that's in my life right now. So things to know about me. I am now an award-winning singer, songwriter, and that's amazing. That's a super amazing accomplishment. And I mean, I feel like that's something that a lot of people should know because wow, I mean, how many people can say that? And I am a newly published author with another book coming out, and I think also that's amazing. Like if you just knew my backstory and all the things that I went through to just get to these places, these things for me, when I do get down and depressed and think life is, what is the point? I look at these things like, I mean, look what you've done though. This is amazing. So, and I started my own publishing company. And so I think that's amazing. So
for sure.
That's something to know about me, I guess.
All right. No, thank you for sharing. I do want to ask you some stuff about what you just mentioned. First off is your book. Where can we find it? What's it called? What's it about?
Yes, so it's on Barnes & Nobles. I'm actually a co-author. My teenager son is the main author. It's called Poetry and Affirmations. And it's a children's book and it's about the Afro hair. My son he went to a predominantly white school and I taught him to grow up to be proud of who he is. But in middle school, you know, it's kind of different when you got, you know, preteens and teenagers coming at you. And that's kind of the point where everybody goes through like some low self-esteem issues. And he was challenged about his hair and people asked questions about it. And then I remember him coming home and asking to do things different to his hair. And then I asked him, well, like, why do you want to do that? And then when he mentioned things that people said, instead, I'm just like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, how about let's embrace it, let's talk about it, and let's share it. And then so we wrote about it. And so it's just a book of affirmations and poetry, but that's why it's called Poetry and Affirmations, and it's just celebrating the Black hair. And it's in Barnes & Nobles.
For sure. That's what's up. Hopefully I can put a link in the description for any folks interested.
I can tell you that.
That's dope. Is the next project a top secret thing, or could you kind of give us a little preview?
Oh, no. So the next book is called Scarlosophy, and it's just pretty much my philosophy and thoughts in life. Because like I told you, I'm super opinionated and I have some controversial thoughts. And so I started on Google Reads writing my own quotes, and then people started quoting me around the world. And I'm like, wow. So then I decided to take that and turn it into a book. And I'm just like, you know, I have to have a disclaimer because I'm just like, you know, some of these thoughts they're just ideas and my own personal thoughts. And it's not, you know, I'm not liable for whatever it may cause you, but it is a lot of things in there, mostly for women empowerment and feminism and things like that. Some of it is about racism because I've experienced some racist shit, and I'm pretty outspoken about some of my thoughts. So yeah, it's just a book of philosophy and my own philosophy. So should come out in November.
Wow, that's pretty soon. All right. It sounds like this is probably also the time this episode might get released, so I'll add that link as well. And
Okay.
and my other question is about your music. Sorry, I personally haven't heard anything you made, but
It's okay.
where can I find and what song should I check out first? If you were gonna give me one.
Well, I'm on all major platforms: Spotify, Deezer, Napster, Tidal. You can find me on YouTube. I think I have some music on Instagram, but yeah, any one of those sites you could find me. I don't. As far as choosing a song, my personal favorite song is called Scarlet's Letter, because it's kind of a personal song, and I wrote it, and it took a year to get the heart to bring it out because of the subject. I mean, it was kind of like a passerby subject, but it was pretty much talking about finding a mate and being with somebody, but it's hard for me because I was sexually assaulted when I was younger, and I have problems with opening up, and I guess I walk through life always feeling like that I can't relate to people, especially men. And so that for me is my favorite song, and I think you should check it out. And it has a lyrical video to it, but a lot of people seem to like my other song called Autumn Reminds Me of You. It's a really feel good, nostalgic, seasonal type of song, so you could check that out.
Will do. And I just want to say thank you for sharing that part of you. Honestly, that's not stuff that I think, my guests would be comfortable with. So I just really wanted to say thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's move on to the second warm-up question here. And it's, if I were to do something in your honor, a way to express the energy you possess, what could I do?
I think it would be super cool to sit with a stranger and listen to their story. If you could go sit with a stranger, somebody unlikely, like not an easy situation, not like a pretty girl or a cool guy that has some swag or something, somebody unlikely, and really listen and hear their story and give them time to be heard in honor of me. That would be kind of dope.
For sure. Now we know what we could do for you. I created this question because oftentimes we never get to ask our close friends or loved ones, what we could do until it's too late, but now I feel like everyone that is close to you knows that we should go and speak to someone new and give them time and listen.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Absolutely. And then my last question for you in the warm-up is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
Yeah, that is a question. Well, I'll give myself a 10 for knowing that I know nothing. I'm aware that I am confusing to myself, and I have no idea who the hell I am, what I'm doing. I just have ideas, and then I follow my ideas and my dreams, but to the core of it, I don't know. I have no idea. So completely knowing myself, it will probably be a 1. Knowing that I don't know myself will be a 10. I'm aware of it. So
for sure, I think that's pretty wise of you. I think people who think they know themselves are giving themselves too much credit. And it sounds like you're coming from the other side of the spectrum. And it's not that I don't think you know your situation. I'm just saying maybe you're discrediting yourself a little bit. But who am I to say? I don't know shit either.
I think for that, the reason why is because the reason why I was kind of nervous about this, because some of these questions, I think about these things all the time, every day. I think about so much every day. And the reason why I feel like I don't know myself, because I feel like a lot of people spend the majority of their life being conditioned versions of themselves, what their parents wanted from them. Being a woman, being a black woman, your environment, and all of these things create a person that's not even you. Because when I sit and listen to like who I am privately and quietly, I feel like it's the opposite of what I was raised to be, and I get confused about that. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know who I am, you know?
Yeah, no, I got you. Since you brought that up, this is a conversation I've had with my homies, but in your experience and the people you kind of come across with in your everyday life, what percentage of people do you think are faking the funk, you know, or wearing a mask, or has it all? Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, so I have these like deep in-depth conversations with my son too. I think majority of people, and I thought about this to the extent like, you know what? I kind of feel like 98% of the people died never fully knowing who they are, what they really wanted, and what their purpose was. Because a lot of people chase things based on money, fame, recognition, and I truly believe that every person has their own unique calling, but nobody takes the time to figure it out, because people pressure people, and time is of the essence. You're getting older. For women, when are you getting married? When are you gonna have children? When are you gonna get a house? And you never have the time to just shut up and sit quietly and figure out who you are. And sometimes maybe people do take the time to try to figure out who they are, but they don't like it, so they have to create something else that they like. Because when these things reach like surface level, they're like, oh my God, like, I don't want to know this about myself. I'm not ready to explore this. And so yeah, I think most people wear a mask and can't face their self, or don't have the time, or don't want the time, because it's scary.
Do you think there's a way to change that, or is it kind of like a losing battle? You know, if I were gonna tell, like, you know, this platform for me is my way of taking my mask off and putting my walls down, but you know, not everybody has that for themselves. So is it almost impossible to kind of get people to be on the same page about it? Like, yo, we don't have to do that, and we could kind of be ourselves, and it's okay to be that way. But there's so much pressure. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I think that people can do it. I think, like, I still struggle with it, but the way that I do it is, like, a lot of times in my life, I get embarrassed a lot, but I get embarrassed because I don't follow social norms. And then I have to talk to myself like, embarrassment is not even a real thing, because it's still based off of somebody else's perception, somebody else's ideas, and what people think is cool, not cool, normal, not normal. So I think the thing is, you kind of have to embarrass yourself a lot, and you have to be like brutally honest, no matter what it is. And it's, I guess it really is. And I know that it's super embarrassing. Like, I've been in situations where I had to say, like, you know, maybe I talk too much, or I don't, or I'm kind of probably neurotic. I don't know. But then it goes where I'm like, maybe I'm justifying, maybe I'm not neurotic, and I think that I'm neurotic because of the stigmas and what the world decide is normal and not normal. I don't know. So the people that come in my life, I'm always like this. So you have some people that'll say, you usually pierce through people's souls like this and can't deal. And then some people are just like, wow, you think on a whole nother level, do you get high? I'm like, no, but I kind of find it disturbing that nobody else does this. And it makes me feel like I'm alone. Like, how are you not concerned about who the hell you are? What are you doing? Like, what is the purpose of life? Like, fuck all of this fame and social media and shit. Like, are you not concerned that you're literally here and how you've begun and what you're supposed to be doing? Like, that is a pressing fucking issue, I think.
For sure.
I just think people just need to just kind of fall and fail publicly all the time, to the point where they become numb and it's not embarrassing anymore, and then they're free to be their self. And it's like, oh, that person is always like that. She's always saying some fucked up shit or doing some weird shit. And first it's weird, but then it's just so you. So it's just like, just publicly be you, the fuck up version too. That's what I think anyway.
No, I got you. I'm with you there. And you mentioned your son was a teenager, correct?
Yeah, he's 14.
So in his generation, I actually just had this conversation with my previous guest, but what differences do you see in his generation versus, you know, the ones we kind of grew up in?
Dang, he's right here, and he's busy. I really want to ask him, but do you mind? Say the question again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I was asking your mom, what differences in your generation are there versus the ones that you've probably seen in older generations? Because I work with high school students, and I always try to pick their brain about how they view the world and what they want to do in it. So for you, what do you think is the differences between the generation you're in versus the ones that came before you?
Like the thing I told you about my upbringing and stuff.
Well, for one thing, technology wasn't really like a big thing like it is nowadays. And I guess more people had more social interaction with people instead of always looking down at their phones.
During your time.
Yeah, my time, people's looking down at their phones, but in the past, more people just goes up and talk to you.
But when we talk about this, you always say that you wish you were born in my time because you can't relate to this time. So,
because I prefer to talk to people than be down on my phone.
But besides that, though, like when we talk about, when I tell you about my upbringing and how my life was and being outside, or just, I noticed that you said a couple times that like the way that even like the girls your age or the kids your age, that you can't relate to this kind of superficial life, like these people being like really stuck up and superficial, and we didn't have, I mean, obviously we had mirrors and stuff, but we just had too much of a life to care about the things that people care about now. You want to touch on that, or do you mind if I ask him that?
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, go for it.
I don't know about that.
No? Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's all good. Maybe another day, another time, I can interview him. But yeah, it's all good. I wanted to ask you before we got into the numbers is, what would you say is your favorite thing about your personality?
I think I really like the fact that I am super honest. Like, there's a lot of things I actually do not like about myself, but that, like, people can rely on that. I'm a super wishy-washy, inconsistent person, but that is the consistency. You can always count on me being honest. Like, it's kind of hard. Like, if you ask me a question, I don't know what it does, but it's like a physical reaction, or I have to tell you the truth. So, but I've learned that sometimes my truths are harsh, I guess. I told you in some boundaries and filters, I can't relate to, so I don't know. I've gotten better because my son had to pull me to the side, like, oh, Mom, you can't say that to people, or, ooh, you need to think before you speak. So now I just say, before you ask me my truth, just know I'm gonna give it to you raw. Like, I'm not really a beat around the bush type of person, but that's the thing I like about myself. You can always count on my honesty.
For sure. I definitely appreciate that. As a person, for me, I think it's, I feel like I have the nice guy label, and so honesty for me is like, if there's nothing nice I can say, I'd rather not say it. So when I come across people who are honest, I really admire that, because that's something I don't possess. It's not something like, I know the importance of being honest, and I wish I could be, but then I'm always thinking, like, I overthink, and I'll be thinking about how can I don't want to say sugarcoat it, but say it, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So I tend to overthink and try to find a nicer way of, like, maybe giving them a hard truth, so I don't think that's.
How's that feel for you?
It's a challenge, and I don't think I've mastered it yet. And one thing I've noticed is that, like, if it was something where I'll relate this to work, like in the workplace, and someone kind of like does something that I disagree with, then for me, the way I work around it is that I try to keep it a real one-to-one thing. I'm not gonna ever call out somebody with other people in front of each other, and I'll be like, if I had a problem with you, or I had a problem with something you did, then I would be like, yo, can we like talk on the side, or and just like, and then in that way I feel like I'm trying to figure out a way I can say it. So it's like, I just want to look out for you, I'm trying to be your friend in this way. But yeah, that's how I kind of approach it right now. And I don't know. I think I'm still building that courage up to be honest in front of everybody at one time. But you know, right now everything for me is like I gotta approach things on a one-on-one basis. You know, it's not for some reason I don't like it. I don't like when you're giving praise to people all at one time, or even putting people down at one time. I think it's like, if I'm gonna give you praise, I'm gonna do it to the side. If I'm gonna criticize you, I'm gonna do it to the side. You know, it's like that's just me. That's how I approach it. But
can I ask you something about something you just said, though? I'm just curious.
Absolutely. No, go for it.
You said if you had a coworker that you didn't like, you would pull them to the side and say, I'm looking out for you. I'm trying to, you know, like I want to.
Yeah. No,
okay,
go ahead.
So okay, for me, like if this was a me and you situation, and you didn't like something I did, or you didn't like me, and you say you're looking out for me, this is the part where I get confused about people in life, because I take it literally, right?
Yeah.
So say you truly didn't like me, but that's your way of trying to ease the blow and say, I'm just looking out for you, you know, like I would take it serious and assume like, oh, I hated this guy, but oh, he's actually looking out for me, so now I like him. And I feel like seeing it like that, I came up with a saying. I think I would prefer a person to be honest than kind. I have to really think about that, but I feel like people find ways to be kind, but it's still a lie, and it's confusing, because I would really, obviously brutal honesty hurts, but I feel like the world is being too coddled in harsh realities. And then, how can I explain this? Like, I feel like people are being coddled, and that's why people can't deal with truths and reality the way that it should be dealt with. And then when hardships come, you have people that want to commit suicide or can't deal or go to drugs because things like this. It's just like, why is honesty so bad? Just say, like, for example, I had a situation at a job before where a person, all they did was gossip and tell other people's business. Right?
Oh, I hate that.
That person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
hate that shit too.
And I can't pretend, and I'm not subtle about it. So I always look forward, do my job. I have no reason to talk to this person, right? And so, and when I hear them talk about somebody, I walk away, because I don't want to know nobody else's business. I don't want to see somebody through somebody else's eyes. And then this person came up to me, tried to have a conversation, and I'm getting irritated. And I said, listen, if it's not work related and somebody didn't send you to talk to me directly, then I prefer you not to interact with me at all, because we're not compatible. Our personalities is not compatible. And I got written up for that, for being aggressive. And to this day, I don't understand that approach, because it is the truth. And I know that if I engage this person, it might be worse, because I also have anger issues, and I would say something publicly in front of everybody and hurt this person's feeling. So for me, I felt like the respectful thing to do was to say, we're not compatible. Please don't talk to me unless it's work related and somebody sent you to talk to me. But because even if it's work related, if you don't have to talk to me directly, you'll talk to somebody else. Like, I prefer you not to interact with me. But that's aggressive, I guess. I don't get that.
I got you. And I would say looking out for you is probably a poor choice of words on my end. I gotta think about how I would say that. But getting written up for that, I totally disagree with. Like, I don't know why that became an issue to get a write-up about. Like, you know, I don't want to assume anything about the leadership you had in that position, but you know, that's one of those things I think is a moment where, like, I mean, I would probably have addressed it with the person, like, I don't know, because I feel you on that part, where if someone was gossiping, I'm the same kind of person to avoid it, not be around that person, and kind of like do everything I can not to hear anything that they say, because it's all like just negativity sometimes, bringing people down and stuff. So yeah. I'm trying to think if I ever addressed that with someone. Well, I had one person ask me if you know, in a similar sense, like, you know, they were pretty honest, or they can be seen as rough around the edges kind of person, and I think she asked me one time, like, am I a difficult person? And honestly, and I told her the way I would, and I told her, like, you know, everybody's not for everybody. That doesn't mean that, like, just because some people see you as difficult doesn't mean everybody does. Like I didn't, and that's how I kind of like related to her. It was like, but that was in her head, and yeah, and she wasn't the kind of person to be all negative. It was just somebody who I thought was an honest person. If something was a stupid idea, she'd be like, yo, that's stupid. And then for me, I'd be like, oh, maybe we could find a different way to go about it. So yeah.
I like that though. I like that too though.
Yeah.
That was a cool way to say it. I need to practice those type of things. Like, oh, let's try a new way. That was a stupid idea. So yeah.
I mean, and you gotta find like the comfortability level on your team too, right? Like if you have people that you feel like understand you, then you could be more yourself, and you could just be like, yo, that's stupid, instead of having to like watch for people's feelings and whatnot, So yeah, I think that's all this stuff, and why I think every person's so unique and like experiences are different is because of that. It's like, well, that situation could be viewed totally different with other people, and for yourself as well. So yeah, any other questions about that particular view?
No.
For sure.
Thanks
Well,
for asking that.
Yeah. Well, we made it to the main interview portion. Would you like to choose your numbers, or would you like to turn to the Wheel of Fate?
The Wheel of Fate.
Wheel of Fate. Here we go. All right.
Dangerous.
Give it a spin. And just as a reminder, there are 3 levels: easy, medium, and hard. So wherever you'd like to flow with. You got number 28 as your first number.
Okay. I don't care about easy, medium, and large. I'll let you choose.
Oh man, that puts the pressure on me. But I like to. I'm gonna start easy. And we'll go easy, medium, hard, and hard, medium, easy. Like if we get to that many numbers. But
okay.
Number 28, easy, is what is your big idea? Like what would you create to improve society and the world?
What is my big idea? See, I told you some of these I didn't. This is my big idea. I always think in the broader. I don't even know. I don't have pinpointed ideas unless that's not a pinpointed question. Give me an example of exactly like what you mean. Like, what is my big idea?
I'm glad you asked, because I want to get your opinion on this. So I like I have crazy, big ambitions, big dreams, and all these things. So for the last one I thought about, right, is what if everybody in the world agreed to take Friday or Monday off? They're like, fuck it, none of us are gonna go in, right? And like,
oh yay!
And it's just like, yeah, our bosses, they're like, well, fuck that. Like, we all don't show up, we'll all stay home. We'll all do something for ourselves. So yeah, that, for me, that's my big idea as far as like, I want to push that. Like, and I think it's going to start with, schools and colleges and the youth, if like all students were like, fuck coming in on Monday, or fuck coming on Friday or whatever. And like, it's just this wave of like, wait a second, no one can stop us from if everybody agreed, no one can stop us to do this. So yeah, that's kind of
I thought of that.
Yeah.
I've actually thought of that. So yes, I agree with that. And another idea, because when you said that, I was like, oh, this is what you mean. I have these ideas. I've thought about this. Because don't they do this in Europe? Don't they have more days off than the days that they work? Because I always hear people from the UK talk about how much Americans work and work hard. I'm like, is it really working hard? Because I think it's kind of stupid. I mean, if you really analyze it, it's pretty much still slavery, and they convinced us to believe that we're actually doing something with ourselves. So, but no, I agree with you that Monday and Friday off. And I have another big idea. I thought about this.
Go for it. Let me know.
It's on a racial end though.
Okay.
What if everybody had the same starting point? No poverty, right? So when they always talking about inequality and white people being oppressive to every other race, pretty much every other race, what if we all just had the same starting point? Everybody had a house, everybody had a car, everybody get the same wage, and we had the same starting point in life, right? Mm-hmm. And then you your life and your beginnings, and you decide what to do with yourself and your life, and then you'll be responsible for you, right? You think that's a crazy idea?
I think that would be a great idea. And I'm just like, as you were saying it, you know, I was just thinking about like how could we pull that off, you know? The fucked up thing is like, I don't know why people care so much about getting more money than they need, you know? Like, yeah. I don't understand that at all. It's like, what are you gonna do with $1 billion that is like why? Like, God. So in that sense, you know, I don't know, like, how are we gonna be able to like take the wealth, or like, we're giving that value to those people, right? Like, oh, you have $1 billion, but you know, if someone's out there creating homes that, you know, like, you know, I'm gonna give it to somebody who doesn't have a home, you know, like, that doesn't really need money. That's just somebody out there building and like offering that place to a person in need. Man, I don't know. I'm thinking about a lot of things right now. But,
I think like one of the things I always think about when I hear presidents like Biden and people talk about what they're trying to do for the Black community, because I have so many opinions about this. It's just like, it's really no trying. It is just, it is, right? So it's just like, fuck all of these handouts, right? Give us the same starting point. You know that you took so much away from us, and our starting point is not the same. We can't even go into the bank, even with good credit, if your name is Bonquisha or whatever, like, everybody has, from the top to the bottom, let's start over, erase everything, debt, poverty, everything, and give everybody the same wages. Everybody has a house. Everybody literally has the same starting point, and just refresh and then start life that way. So now we're not worrying about if a president is giving, oh, we're taking taxes from the rich and giving it to the poor. Like, how about we stop doing that, right? And let's create a balance where everybody's on the same playing field, right? That's just my idea.
No, I got you. And you know, just playing. I'm not usually the person who does this. I don't play devil's advocate. I usually have people shutting down my ideas all the time. But I think it's good to kind of like get to see the other side of it, right? I feel like you're gonna have a lot of angry rich people. You know, it's like, wait a second, we're all starting over, like. You know? Yeah,
but look at the things I feel no way about it. I feel no way. They can cry me a river and see what it feels like to be us, because their riches is not really real. They stepped on everybody's back. They took everything from everybody to get it. So fuck them and their riches. I feel no way about it.
I got you.
And it'll teach them something. Like, a lot of these people are so above it all that I don't even think their reality is a reality. It's not even real. So they'll cry about it. Oh, take my riches. And I'm just like, is it yours? Because you actually really didn't earn this, okay? You had it. Your starting point was way above the rest of ours, okay? Your family, your ancestors took slaves and did all types of fucked up shit to people for you to be where you're at, right? So that's not your riches to begin with, okay? So let's clear that out. Get over it. And so, yeah, I mean, they'll be mad, but the majority won't be mad, because the majority is me. The majority is you. The majority is a minority. So.
Majority is minority. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I even go way back. Like, who was the motherfucker that thought they were better than everybody else? You know, like. Yeah,
that's one of the. That's one of the quotes, kind of. It's not those exact words, but that's one of the quotes in my book. Like, who the fuck started this shit? Like, that's who I want to get to. I want to get to him and his family. Like, who sat down? They're brilliant. I'll give them that. They are fucking genius. But my goodness, who sat and thought of this? Like, now how can we rise above it all and step on like this one person or a group of people, and they're still behind the scenes. Their family, they probably got a whole big book of things to follow for their family to continue the wealth and continue to just step on our backs and climb and keep going. Like, who did this? That's the question.
They're probably quiet as fuck too, because they know. You know, they're like,
of course, that's not. They're geniuses.
Yeah.
Well, they got a whole bunch of figureheads in front of it all to make it look like these are the people that we all should hate, when they're also puppets.
Yeah. What do you think about the the 3 generations of wealth? I don't know if you ever heard of this one, but it's like you have the first generation that grew up poor, right? So then they're working hard. And then the second generation, they see that first generation like, oh damn, they're struggling, but my folks got me to this place where I can at least be better than how they were, and then I'm going to do the same for my kid. So then those folks work really hard and get to that next level of, let's say, millions or billions if they're that great. And then that third generation kind of gets spoiled. So then, they live their lives thinking everything's gravy, but they're the ones who fuck it up for their family because, they think that's how it always is. And then it kind of reverts back to that first generation where they grow up poor. So do you think that's...
thoughts about that?
Yeah. Like, do you think that's real? Or is that something that's, just made up? Yeah, go ahead.
No, the reason why I think it's real is because this is where... Okay, so my mom was born in the 50s and, she still... I think... I have to check with her, so this could be wrong, but I thought I remember her saying they still had the black and white water fountains and stuff, and just listening to her talk and her mentality and where she's at in life, I realized that I gotta choose my words wisely when I talk about my mom. I realized that Jesus Christ, I'm not good with beating around the bush. It's kind of like still some slave mentality and struggles and even things that they've learned in school, and it kind of hurts when I was young and I'm just like, why can't she help me with my homework? But she wasn't privileged in that way, and I listen, I got 13 siblings, but with my mom, kids, it's just 9. And I grew up pretty fucking poor from Camden, New Jersey. And so my mom, I guess, would be the first generation. I would consider myself the second generation because then I left home I left home at 18, moved to California, went to school for fashion design, dropped out, but I met DMX and a couple of other celebrities. And I was just free-spirited person that wasn't afraid of anything, and I'm just like, I'm gonna follow my dreams by all means necessary. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I refuse in my adult life to choose what I went through when I was younger, because when I'm younger I have no choice. Somebody else is in control. I'm not gonna choose that for my adult life, and I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna figure whatever the fuck I have to. I'm gonna read books. I'm just gonna learn. Now I have my son, he's 14 years old. I moved to Washington State. And being here, I lived in like 10 to 13 different states. And I realized Washington is kind of a rich state, how they have everything set up. Like our library has a recording studio in it for free, which is easy for an artist, like a recording studio, and it is legit, okay? Like the things that's available to my son from choosing this environment for him, I think he's gonna be the third generation. He's gonna graduate high school with an associate's degree. His starting wage is gonna probably be more than I've ever had. And you know what I'm saying? And so, but the difference is I kind of have faith that he's not going to fuck it up, because his starting point, he had the beginning from what my mom went through, the middle, and he's going to be the higher, because in his childhood, I was still just that girl from the hood living in the Bronx, being in shelters. And we've been in and out of so many different shelters. Even to this day, if I got like $100 or $200 for a pair of sneakers, my son is thinking like, is it necessary to buy a pair of sneakers that's $130? Like, fuck a name brand. If I like it and it's comfortable and it does the job, nobody needs that. And so I really think that he's gonna be successful, but he understands the value of $1 and he understands the struggle, because he started with each of those levels. Started off struggling really hard and we didn't have food, to being where we at in the middle right now. And I think he's gonna value each side. And when he makes money and reach a higher point, I think he's also somebody that says when he was younger that he values family, so he wants to have children and he wants to marry and give back to the community. So in his situation, I don't know how it is for anybody else, I think he'll be okay for the third generation wealth, because he understands each level, because of the type of person that I am. And I have these same conversations that me and you're having since he was a kid. So yeah, but I do believe that the what is it called? The third generation thing is not fake. It is a real thing.
I got you.
I don't know how I feel about it being in a white community, and it's probably harsh to say, but for minorities, I believe that it truly is a real thing.
Oh, for sure. And I just want to give you your props for raising your son the way you did. I think it's a testament to your motherhood for him, that he has this viewpoint. And yeah, I mean, I just want to send the vibes that he can continue it on for his kids, and and so on. Because I think that's going to be the hardest part, right? Like, you've done what you could in your part for your son, but like it's really hard to like say how your great grandkids are going to kind of like see things and perceive, especially if your son takes it to the next level and his kids take it to the next level. That's the scary part for me, is that like I can raise my kid not to be an asshole, but I can't say if my great grandkids are going to be assholes. Who knows? But yeah, so I just want to. Oh, I was gonna just let you know we have about 15 minutes left in the podcast. And,
I'm so sorry.
Oh no! I was giving you a heads up just so I could say thank you again for stopping by, and I hope you're having a good time, because I think on my end it's been a great conversation. So thank you again.
Yeah.
I think we got.
Thank you.
I think we got time for one more spin. We'll see how this conversation.
I'm trying to make the
flows.
answer shorter. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Sometimes I get stuck with the warm up with my guests, so don't even worry. Like,
Okay.
yeah, there's no like hard set points or anything. But I think you saw the number was 1, and you still want me to choose?
Yeah, it's medium, right?
Now it's medium, yeah. And this one is, what impression do you want people to have of you?
I'm always in my head too. I don't think I care. I don't think I want any. They're free to, I don't think it matters to me, their impression. I think that could be a lie. In some ways, it's complicated. I think sometimes I want, because some people think that I'm aggressive and I'm harsh. I am very impatient. Sometimes I want people to see the gentle in me, or see that. I think everybody are actual people. Oh, this is horrible. I hate this.
You're fine.
But
You're fine.
think that I am truly living as a person that's just a person. Like, I'm not going to pretend to have it figured out, and I think it's impossible, and it's actually creepy when people say that they do have it figured out, because I'm just like, this world is insane. And if you are completely happy and have it completely figured out, I need to come stay with you and just watch you. Can I just watch you live so I can see what you figured out? Because I just want to know what kind of figure out you figured out. But I think for me that I am a true example of just a human being living in a world that don't know what the fuck they're doing and why they're here. and I can't hide it. So I don't even know what to say about the impression that I want to make, because a part of me is just like, I don't give a fuck. I don't know. Do whatever. I don't know. Who cares? But then there's just this other part that's just like, I guess just see me as a human, whatever that means. But then I don't want to say whatever that means, because people's idea of humans are shit, which is a weird thing, but it's different. But I am a super flawed human being. So I guess that's the answer. Just, I don't know.
No, for sure. No, I got you. And I mean, even as a super flawed human being, you're doing all these incredible things, right? Like, you're in music, you're authoring books, you're publishing stuff, and you're raising a son. So, like, I think I think in the very beginning of our conversation, I was saying, and this is me, I guess, being the nice guy, but I feel like you're discrediting yourself a little bit, which, is, can go either way, good or bad, right? Like, it keeps you humble, keeps you hungry, keeps you, keep you motivated. But it also kind of like, and that's why I liked how you kind of introduced yourself when I asked you, what do you want the audience to know about you? You gave those positive things, because I'm happy to at least know that you recognize that for yourself, and not everybody can say what you were able to say. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are just my thoughts. So we just met, but I just want to let you know that I think there's a lot more in you that I think, I think you do see it, but it's just more so like how often or how much in that time that you're able to embrace it, and then going back to the other side. And yeah, because I feel the same way, and I don't think you're alone in that sense. And the more conversations I've had with people like this, I think people kind of feel that insecurity, but also that hope. I don't know. It's weird, and I don't think I found the right words to express it the best way possible. But I just want to let you know you're not alone.
Thank you. I just want to say something about that. I think the insecurity though comes from being like people based, because my values and the things that I consider to be successful is not the same. So saying like I discredit myself, that's just based on like, I guess, your perception of what success is. Like, okay, to say like, oh yes, I have an award, these things are great and they make me feel good too. But deep down to the core, my idea of success and the things that I value is not those things. These are just material and what is the word that I'm looking for? These are materialistic and
superficial.
Yeah, superficial things that I've learned to appreciate in it. But I don't want to discredit it. It's like I have put in work and I am grateful for the things that I've accomplished. I really am. But I think for me as a soulful person, to feel credited or to feel like somebody that's like, or you're not really giving yourself the credit, is to be a person that is content and aware and balanced and stable only in myself, not with influences of nobody else or any ideas from the outside world. I don't know if that's something that I can actually accomplish, but to me, if we came on the show and I still accept my flaws and know that I was, just a regular human being living in this world, but found some type of peace and balance in it, because I'm all over the place, I'm chaotic as fuck. If I found some type of peace and some type of understanding of it for the best of my knowledge as a human being, I feel like that would be where I'm just like, this is my greatest accomplishment. And I wouldn't be discrediting myself because I reached some type of peace for me, not for no religion, any type of spirituality or following, or not for being Black or a feminist or none of those things. Like just for me entirely, that thing will make me feel accomplished, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, I totally.
Is that difficult? Like, understand what I was saying?
No. The reason why I'm kind of like thinking about what I'm gonna say is, this is by no means trying to say like I've figured it out, but I think for me personally, that balance you speak of is something that I've been striving to get and striving to keep. And right now, in this point of my life, that's where I kind of am. And things can happen in life that fuck up my balance, but at the moment, right. I got time for family, I got time for my partner, I got time for this podcast, I got time for work. And I feel like those 4 things, and my friends actually, my homies, so those 5 things are part of my life. And like it's great for me to feel like, as far as my family and my friends go, they kind of know like, okay, this guy's trying to do something, so he might not have all the time for us, so but I'll make that time to for us to spend some quality time. And then for my partner, also super understanding about what I'm trying to do, so I definitely appreciate that too. And the last 2 things is just my work and podcast, because I'm broke as fuck, so I gotta continue having a day job, like I got a day job and I'm trying to pursue my dreams. But my thing about it is that like, so I'm doing those things, feel like I'm at balance, and this like we kind of talked about it going back and forth, like this right here is what I feel like my life is all about. This is these conversations, trying to record them, through video or through audio, just for the future. Like all that shit kind of like is melding together, and it's almost scary for me, because if it ever gets to that point of losing it, that's gonna really like fuck me up a little bit. So I'm trying to do my best to keep everything together, keep everything flowing, knowing that I have to brace myself, because shit can get fucked up real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know the balance you're seeking, and I don't know your life, I don't know what you got going on, but I think going through this pandemic, going through quarantine, is what kind of got me to like refocus and figure out shit for myself. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard, but if there's stuff you can cut out of your life that can give you more time to find that balance. Like that's what I had to do pretty much. That's the only thing I can say about it. I don't like giving advice because, you know, I feel like it's very personal, you know, how people go about their shit. You know, so, but yeah.
No, I think you're right. That's finding the right people and cutting things out of your life. I have my attention span is like a freaking baby, and it's easy for me to lose focus, and I let all the riffraff and all types of people in and out my life, and it's hard because I am also a very lonely person because I feel like I think so different, so it's easy for me to get attached to people and then detach from people. So yeah, I pretty much have to do what you do and just find my circle, like my group of people, and I haven't found that yet. So I think once I get just a group of people that I trust and feel comfortable around, this probably won't even be as hard, you know?
Yeah. And you know, I truly believe you got those people out there, and it might take some time. And I mean, that's the thing about people. So they can be unpredictable. Like even when you think you found the right folks to surround yourself, that can get fucked up too. But
and devastating.
Yeah.
For me, it's so devastating. Every time I open up and get somebody that I think, and they turn out to be garbage, I'm just like, and it just makes me isolate and then continue to just, I don't know. But yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can find people and you assume that they are good for you, and then it's just definitely a process.
It is.
Oh, sorry about that. Beeping in the back.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I wish we could talk more about it, but we got to get to the final stretch. Yeah, if you're open to continuing, you know, our conversation about other stuff, you know, there's part 2s, or if you know, maybe not now, maybe in a couple months or whatever, doors always open. You know, I don't know if it appeals to you to come back on here and talk some more, but absolutely.
I would love to. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad. So we're getting to the end here. Before we get to the closeout questions, I have this thing called the 34th mantra. It's a fill in the blank. There's 3 phrases, and I just like you to fill it in for yourself. It is I am, I can, I will. So I am blank, I can blank, I will blank. How would you fill that in for yourself?
I am. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm feeling like I'm about to be judged. I am whatever I want to be.
This is for you. You are talking to yourself at this moment. So unless you're judging yourself, you don't have anything to worry about.
Okay. Well, yeah, I am whatever whatever I choose to be.
For sure.
And what's the other?
The second one is I can.
I can do whatever I want to do.
Last one is I will.
I will do whatever I want to do.
For sure. If you ever need a reminder, now you got this soundbite of yourself, you know, just the affirmations, you know, from yourself on 9/29/2021, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's jump into the final stretch. My next question for you is from my previous guest. So shout out to Jesse. His question for you is, what do you want your legacy to be?
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry to like constrict this into a time frame. I feel like we could be talking about this for a long time as well.
No, this one is a hard one actually. What do I want my legacy? I don't even know how to answer this. What do I want my legacy to be? Scarlet Jei Soarise is somebody that lived entirely unrestricted and free, and I don't know how would you answer that? Let me just get an idea of how you would answer that so I can get an idea of how I want to answer this.
I got you. Well, for me, I mean, damn, like honestly, I've been that person that just tries. So if my, like, you know, my great grandkids just say like, yo, my great grandfather, he was trying. He tried his best to like fucking do something bigger than himself and, you know, contribute to the world. And I think that's what I want my legacy to be. Because you know how some people say there's no try, there's just do. I feel shitty because I feel like I'm just trying, I don't think I'm doing anything, but yeah, so
I think I'm great.
yeah, so I mean, for me, it's I want to be known as somebody who tried and kept trying, because this is like, I've had a couple big failures in my life, and this is the next project that I'm doing, and but this is the only one that feels right for my soul, and
Right.
that's
And
why
this is gonna
different.
be watch this not be a I tried. This is gonna be I did. You're doing well. I love this show, and
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna put it on my website and promote it too, because these kind of questions I think is really important, and I can't wait to see what anybody else has to say, because then I might find my people here, because this is where I live. So you did. I think it's gonna be, you start off with I tried and then you did. So you'll be just fine.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. My legacy is gonna be, she lived boldly and as free as possible and fearless. I think that's my legacy.
Gosh, it also sounds like she was undeniable,
Yes, that's it. Undeniable.
Sure.
Yep.
For sure. My second question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest that comes on to 34 Questions?
I have an idea of a question. I just don't know the complete question. Is I want to know about their darkest self, because I feel like we all have it.
Okay.
I'm trying to formulate a question around that, though. I guess, how dark is your darkest self? How would you describe the dark side of you?
Ooh. How dark are you?
Yeah, that's a tough one to even answer.
Yeah.
That's pushing it a little bit.
It's interesting because honestly, like, I don't know who. I never have an idea of who's gonna be up next. Like, even if I schedule someone, there's always rescheduling and stuff. So, yeah, I'm curious who gets it and how they perceive it. Because they might be like, "What do you mean by dark?" But yeah, so.
Do you agree that we all have a dark side?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That one. There's that one fable or like one saying. It was like, this grandfather was talking to his grandson and was like, there's two wolves inside of you or whatever, the good wolf and then the dark wolf or bad wolf. And then the son's like, well, like, how do I know which one I am? And it's like, it's the one that you feed. So I'm like, oh shit.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My new favorite quote.
It was a good one. But yeah.
I love
So
that.
just something to chew on, more ideas to come out of, you feel me? Yeah. All right. Well, and we made it to the last question, the question that ties everything together. You have your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren watching this video or listening to this video. What would you like to tell them?
That your Nana lived a life that she chose for herself. That's it.
For sure.
That I chose my paths, my journeys. I created my own positions in life, and I didn't let anything hold me down or hold me back.
Sure. I feel that. Any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here?
No, but I will send you my links, and this was awesome. I appreciated this, actually. I was really scared. I didn't know what I was gonna say, but it turned out to be not so bad.
Yeah.
I think maybe.
No, it was amazing. I want to thank you again for stopping by, being super open, and like, I know you were kind of like worried about what you were gonna say, but I think you got my vibe and was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna say whatever I want, and I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, thank you, and I want to thank all the folks, if you're listening or catching this on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever. I appreciate y'all too. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace. And
Peace. All right.